Hey, what's up everyone? Lucas here. In this video, I want to tell you a little bit about what I've changed in the latest version of 0.9. If you've already downloaded it in the recent week or so, you're going to want to head over to the website and grab the latest version. It's going to have a pretty big, important change. It's just one feature, but it's an important one. Over here under Device Configuration, we have a new profile called ARTNET Generic. Up until now, you've had 4 and 16 to use. These have been fine, but they've had issues the further and further along Touch Designer has gotten. Also, these were built years ago when Touch Designer's feature set was a lot different. So there's a lot better ways to do this in the back end, and I figured, the problems people have been having and the time has passed, it was just due for a refresh. So ARTNET Generic is what I recommend you using from now on. I left these in here as far as like legacy support for ARTNET, but ARTNET Generic all the way, highly recommend it. It's going to be faster as well. So just to kind of give you a brief rundown of why you should use this and how it works, let me just kind of explain what you see here. This is a little bit different. The first few rows are the fields that you're used to. These do the same things that they've always done. And here we have two buttons. Reset to default is going to just reset your routing table back to square one. And Spillover is a feature that you may or may not want to turn on. Depends how you have your Pixelite set up. I'm going to come back to that here in a moment. So this is your routing table, and this is your channel preview, right? So as you can see, we have C0, C0, C1, C1. You have a channel of 512 samples for every row of this table. And if you want to configure your universes differently, you just type them in here. You have net, subnet, universe, and that's all you have to really worry about here. If you type in something or you screw up the table and you lose a column, you see the LEDs stop working, you just hit reset, you're going to get the default auto-generated table back for you. So let's talk about spillover. Normally, when I run LEDs, I have a certain way I run things. Let's see, is this the right one? No, hold on. There we go. This is the Pixelite we need to be talking about. Alright, so in advance here, you probably recognize this window if you've used the Pixelite before. You can ignore everything after output 7. This is all not relevant for this video. 1 through 7, as you can see, I'm starting each output off on a fresh universe, and I'm starting it on channel 1. This is just easier to think about. But depending on what you're outputting to and what your system looks like, you may actually want your universes to be back-to-back and not have this empty space in between. So that's what spillover is for. Spilling over means that your LEDs will spill over into the next universe, and if you have this turned off, they'll get truncated right there where they are. So the best way to kind of explain this, I guess, is to show you. So what you're seeing right now, every tower, every section that's hung up on the wall, with the exception of the middle one, which is 3 sections, so just look at the outer 2, each of those is a different output on the Pixelite, and each of those is 400 pixels. So 400 pixels obviously requires more than one universe. So normally that means if it's like 2.5 universes, I round it up to 3, and we just allocate 3 universes for that fixture, or that collection of 4 panels in this case. But with rollover or spillover, it actually takes that empty gap away, and the first 3 or 4 panels in this case ends at 2.5 universes, and then the next one starts at 2.5 and goes onwards. So let me show you what happens if I turn this on. You get a bunch of kind of nonsense that doesn't make any sense, and that's okay, because what we can do is, well, I'm going to go and use this button down here so you can actually see the difference. When I click this, it's going to automatically, sequence all the universes and start channels based on the number of LEDs, which is 400, number of pixels. So I'll hit OK, hit OK. It's going to reflash the Pixelite. It's going to come back here in a moment. And there we go. We have our stuff working again. So it really comes down to your workflow. If you're going to be setting your stuff up with sequential order, or if you just want to use the simple basic. So I think this works the same way. If I hit OK, it's going to reflash. And there we go. So we got 400 pixels. It's doing the same thing. This is basically spilling over into the next universe with no gap, and you can see that here. The channels actually reflect that change as well. So if you want, you can go in here and change the universes. It's obviously going to look wrong, but you can change stuff and just type it in, and then when you save your device layout, this actually gets saved to disk. And the same thing when you load it, you're going to load it right back into existence. So that's essentially it. Thanks for watching, and check it out.